Doing my
So
makeup
I've got
part
my
2.
primer all blended in, and it makes your skin feel really soft and dewy. And I do have a little bit of post-acne scarring, some imperfections in my skin, so I like to make sure I pay attention to that. So the next thing I'm going to use is the C25 Warm Yellow Rhine-Wayne Concealer, Camouflage, whatever you want to call it. And I just use the camouflage brush in some of the areas, especially because I have a beard. A lot of my followers are women, so you don't need to worry about the beard situation, hopefully. But I like to make sure that I still have a little bit of contrast in the color, so it doesn't look like it's just all dark on my face. So I do a little bit of a triangular shape right here to make my cheekbones look a little bit higher. And then I'm gonna go in and just kind of barely put some product on some of this redness that I have. So you can see it kind of evens that out a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with the Rhine-Wayne Cream Foundation. This color is Almond Joy, and this is one of my favorite products. We have it in a lot of different colors. And I love it because I contour mostly with creams, so that way I don't look powdery. So I'm gonna go in and draw on some cheekbones. So you can see I'm leaving a pretty big line right here. And then I use this flat angled brush so that way I can kind of contour my nose a little bit. And then same thing up around my forehead. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use that same brush that I started with, and I'm going to use circular motions to kind of blend down toward my nose. And I'm gonna kind of fill in my cheek area. And I just am doing light pressure because I like a minimal coverage look. I wanna look perfect, but I don't want it to look cakey. Then I'm going to use the, once again, Rhine-Wayne Concealer. This is the Warm Yellow. I've let that primer sit for quite some time. And I just do a couple dots under my eye, around my brow, and then on my nose. And I just kind of pat. I never really brush around my eyes. I always just try to pat it and blend it. And I'll go up around the brow, blend down, do the other eye. And then I'm gonna blend in my T-zone. As you can see, I've worked the dark down pretty far. So now I'm gonna kind of blend it up. And then also my nose. Funny comment I've had is, oh my gosh, how many nose jobs have you had? I'm like, none, I just contour it. It's not that big of a deal. So then I'll use that same brush to kind of blend in my highlight. Just make sure I like the blend. Perfect. Okay, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my setting powder. And I'm a big believer in this because I'm always working in the salon or running around and it gets kind of hot. And if you start to sweat, you don't want your makeup to come off. So I always set before I do any powders. And I always start under the eye and then I will blend my way around. And I usually set twice. Okay, so this is, if I were in a hurry, I could just run out the door. My skin's camouflage, looks pretty smooth, even. Since I'm going to take Nathan out, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of contouring with the powder. This is the Rhine-Wayne dark color, and this is for oil control, which I mentioned earlier. Sometimes I have to worry about that. So I'm just gonna use an angled brush, and I just kind of go in here and enhance the contouring I've already started. So I don't really do a whole lot with the powder, just touch-ups. And my little tip with the contouring, I try not to go past 3/4 eyebrow. I don't want to take that too far down. So I'll kind of blend down to that point. And then I'll go around the neck to blend it down into the décolleté. Then I'm going to use some blush. This is the Blush Glow. And I use the angled tip, get a little bit of that color on there. And then I just kind of go up on top of my contouring to give me a little bit of color so I don't look gray. And then I just kind of blend it in so I look a little sun-kissed. So it just gives a little bit more color. And if you don't like a real pinky blush, I still recommend using something with some warmth to it. but you can always go back on top of it with bronzer. And then now I'm going to use a little bit more setting powder to blend those two colors together. So I'll just blend that out. I don't want it to look like I have major blush, so this will blend all the colors together. Voila! So that's basically how I do my makeup. The last thing I'll do is I'll just use the mascara wand to brush my lashes, brush my brow hairs, and then a setting powder.